Hello everyone and welcome to the Annie Lizz Podcast. I'm your host Annie Elizabeth and welcome to another episode where Annie talks. So, you're watching the 4th episode of the Annie Lizz Podcast. I'm very excited for today. I'm very, very excited, but honestly, I feel like I'm always excited, so can't really say it, like it's nothing different. But I am excited because I want to be talking about another topic that I really find so fascinating and so interesting. And if you watch this podcast long enough, then you'll be able to find a pattern that I call everything my favorite topic. But it's just because I love everything from the Bible, and like literally if you give me a topic to talk about, I will literally run with it and write a sermon. And so honestly, if you hear that a topic is my favorite, don't be surprised. It's just because everything's my favorite. But anyways, today I'm going to be talking about something I really, really do enjoy talking about. It's really high up there, my favorites, like very high up there. And it's about being as bold as a lion and the spirit of I do not care. Now, earlier this year, I believe it was in February, I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I was in the Bahamas at Atlantis for a work trip with my family. And we have this devotional for our youth group, right? So every single day, a leader or a pastor would write a devotional for the day and the youth would read it. And so I don't even think we were talking about devotional in our youth group chat. We had a youth group chat, but I don't think we were talking about the devotional at the time. I think it was talked about during the day, but it changed courses. The conversation just changed. And so out of nowhere, like it was random, my Pastor Jay, he was like, Annie, like you're going to write the devotional for tonight. And I was like, okay, like when do you want it done by? And he said like anytime tonight. And so I had so many questions running through my head. And let me tell you, that literally threw me off. Like I was like, whoa, like, but I didn't choose to like worry. I didn't choose to be like, oh, well, Pastor Jay, like actually like I'm on a work trip and, I'm busy. Like, or like I'm out with my family, or like I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Like I don't think I can write something in such a short amount of time. Like, I didn't have much time. It was about to be like late. And so, no, I didn't choose to say any of those things that someone can choose to say. Like, I was like, okay, yes, I don't know what he necessarily wants me to talk about. I don't know all the answers to the questions that I may have, but I'm going to choose to do it anyways, and let's see how it goes. And so I was like, God, I trust you, and I believe that you're going to give me something in a short amount of time to talk about. And I opened my notes app in my phone. I opened my notes app, and I'm staring at my screen. I'm like, God, like I need you to help me. Like I don't know what to talk about. And then all of a sudden, it's like I got a download in my spirit, like, and I knew exactly what to talk about. And so as soon as I put the first word down, everything just started to flow from there. And so I just started writing, and I was like, honestly, I was just in awe of like how God worked in that moment, because I had nothing in my head. Like I went blank because obviously it threw me off. It's late at night. But I knew I needed to write something. And so God just like, it's like, don't worry. Like you literally did not worry. You chose to not worry. You chose to not ask all these questions. So I'm going to help you. I'm going to speak through you, and I'm going to help you write this. And so, as I said, I started writing, and everything just flowed from there. And lo and behold, I wrote a devotional, and it was called exactly what this episode is called, Being as Bold as a Lion, the Spirit of I Do Not Care. And so they enjoyed it so much, my pastors and also the youth. And then I had the opportunity and the blessing to write another one the next day. And it was just really great. And also that devotional is on the youth website now. And I was like, whoa, that's like actually crazy. Because like you see what God does when you obey and you just go for it. Because that's like, even though you have all these things in your head, like, oh my gosh, like how am I supposed to do this? Like if you trust God, he will help you. But anyway, that's another topic for another day. But I just wanted to give you the backstory of this sermon or this podcast episode, because I do believe it's important, because like I didn't like write it last night. No, like I wrote this a while back, like almost, well, a couple months, like, okay, a good amount of months ago, not a year ago, but a good amount of months ago. And so I wanted to give you the backstory to it because I truly believe that it's important to what I'm going to say. So anyways, let's go ahead and dive into the topic for today, being as bold as a lion in the spirit of I do not care. So if you would, open up to Proverbs 28:1 for me. Yeah, Proverbs 28:1. And I'm reading out of the New King James, but you can read any translation you would like, but please do not read the Passion and please do not read the Message. Please, for the love of God, do not. Okay, anyways. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. Okay, I'm going to be reading another verse too, so we're going to go ahead and open up to that as well. I have it over here. Ephesians 19 says, "And for me the utterance may be given unto me, that I may open my mouth boldly to make known the mystery of the gospel, for which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak." Listen, I want you to realize that you are called to be bold. You are called to live boldly. You are called to speak boldly. You are called to believe boldly. You are called to be bold. And I feel like many people have this misinterpretation of being bold. Like, oh, when you're bold, you're mean. And when you're bold, you're like ungodly. And when you're bold, you are not following what the Bible says. When in fact, that's literally the opposite from the truth. The Bible and the Lord literally tells us, hey, like you have to be bold. Like, look, like the wicked, they flee when no one is literally chasing them. No one is going after them. But the righteous, oh yeah, they're as bold as a lion. And so when you think of a lion, I want you to think of this picture. Think of lion, right? When you think of lion, you think of the king of the jungle. Like that's literally their name. That's the name that we have given them because of their attitude, because of their stature, because of their position, right? They may not be the biggest in the jungle. They are not. Let me tell you, they're not the biggest in their jungle. There's so many other animals that are bigger than them. But let me tell you that, hey, like just because they're not as big, just because they're not bigger like the other animals, that does not define their attitude. They literally don't let their size determine how they act. They don't let their size determine their boldness and their authority. They know in which place they stand. And so if you as a believer are called to be as bold as a lion, you have to be like that. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter what size you are. It doesn't matter any of these things. It doesn't matter if you're tall, if you're short, or if you're skinny, if you're fat. No, like you literally have the same instructions and you have the same rules to abide by, that you have to be bold. Why are you going to be someone who is fearful? Why are you going to be someone who's always scared and always anxious and always worried and always gets worried when people come against them? That's not being bold. Being bold is standing up and telling people, hey, like I know that you criticize me. Yes, I know that you do all these things and you say all these things about me. But even though you say these things, I'm going to choose to be bold anyways. I'm going to choose to stand up. I'm going to choose to not let my guard down. And I'm going to choose to be as bold as a lion. I'm going to choose to not care. That's literally what it is. In the spirit of I do not care. Like lions don't care about their size. They don't care about any of those things. You know, and so if you are someone who's always constantly worried and always like constantly, anxious about what people think about you, let me tell you, you got to fix that right now. You got to fix that because that is not going to take you anywhere, but instead it's going to drag you down and it's going to drag you down a loophole. What do you gain from caring about other people's opinions? What do you gain by caring about what other people say? Why are you letting that determine what you think and what you act upon? Why? Like, I seriously don't understand. Why are you going to pay attention to a bunch of lowlifes who know nothing and you're going to let them influence you because you're just scared? Because you're just timid. I'm sorry. I don't understand how you think that is biblical. I don't understand how you think that is a way to go about life. Why are you going to go about life with this mentality that you have to just be dragged around by everyone? Like, that's not going to take you anywhere. It's seriously not going to. And so you have to open your eyes and realize that, because unless you open your eyes, unless you open them and see like, hey, I'm not going to go anywhere with this, then you're going to be stuck in that. Listen, I wasn't the biggest people person. I wasn't the boldest person you met when I was younger. I was kind of shy, actually. Like, I was shy. Like, I wasn't bold. And it wasn't until I chose to be bold for myself. Because what did I gain to be introverted in this little bubble? What did I gain from that? Like, yes, it's good to be like someone who doesn't necessarily always have to depend on people. Like, that's good. Like, you also have to form that too. But if you are constantly just like, you're just shy, you're like, you can't talk to people, you can't do things because you're scared and you're shy and you're timid, that is trapping you in a bubble. And you need to get out of it. You need to pop that thing. Oh, but Annie, I'm like shy and like I want to be bold, but like I don't know, like I 2 Timothy 1:7, for God has not given us a spirit of timidity, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. So God has not given you that timidity that you are so holding on to, like so longing to keep in your arms. He hasn't given it to you. That does not come from God. Why be timid when you can be bold? Why do that? You can be bold. Look at the examples that we have in the Bible of people who stood up for their faith and did not care what other people said about them. Realize, did not care about what other people said about them. And they stood up and they did not compromise. People who were bold. We have Moses before Pharaoh. We have Rahab. We have Elijah and the prophets of Baal and the king Ahab. We have Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. We have Joseph. We have Noah. We have Joshua and Caleb. We have all these people in the Bible who did not just say, "Oh yeah, you're right. Maybe I'm wrong," or you know what? Maybe I should not. I can't take that step because it's a little too scary. What will other people say? What will happen to me if I do this? No, they didn't say that. They didn't care about the consequence. They didn't care about what other people would say. No, but they only care what God said. And so for you to care what man thinks, for you to care what man thinks when God has commanded you to do something, for you to care the opinions of man and what they have to say and what they're going to do to you, when you have a God who's watching you, who has instructed you to go and do something, I'm sorry. Why do you care about opinions from man? Why do you care about what people have to think? They're going to die one day. Let's be for real. They're all going to die. And what are their opinions going to matter? Their opinions are not going to matter to you because they're literally just words. And if you're scared of what they're going to do to you, who cares? Who cares what they're going to do to you? You think Daniel wanted to be in the lion's den? You think that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego wanted to be in the fire furnace? No, they didn't. They didn't want to. But that's what it came to. So get used to that. Get used to that. Hey, like, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to say. But either way, I don't actually care. It's the spirit of I don't care. It's saying, hey, God, I care so much about what you have called me to do. I care so much about what you have instructed me that I'm going to disregard everything else around me. And I'm going to only focus on you. And I'm going to be bold for you. I'm going to be bold on your behalf. Because I am your vessel. And so when people come, when distractions come, when the enemy comes, when all these things come to sweep me off my feet, when all these things come to make me scared, I'm not going to just bow down to Baal. No, I'm going to stand up with my head held high, looking towards you. Because yes, there is going to be battles. Yes, there is going to be challenges along the road. But don't mistake that for defeat. Don't mistake that you have to surrender. You have to be timid in order to get through it. That's not how you solve a problem. Because if so, then any person when there's a war would just easily surrender. And what does that show? What does that say about their dignity? It shows that they're weak. It shows that they are not bold enough to fight. You have to fight. That's literally what it is. You have to fight. Even when you are scared, even when you don't know what's going to happen, you have to stand up and fight. And you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to take place. But either way, you have to show up. Either way, you have to be bold. Either way, you have to not care, and you have to show up, and you have to be bold, and you have to fight. Don't care about what the battles ahead may look like. Don't care about the challenges that come along the road. If God literally told you, hey, I want you to do this, don't you think that he's going to make sure that you complete it? Don't you think that he's going to make sure that it comes into completion and that he will make you function in that anointing in which you are called to do? I'm sorry. To think that God has called you and he's not going to help you and he's going to leave you stranded, I'm sorry, I don't understand that. I seriously don't. People get scared, people get fearful, and they abandon God. They think that they're defeated. They think that, there's no way that I'm going to do this, God. What will like Susie say about me in my comment section if I post this video? What will the devil do to me if I just click on post? That is literally insane. If you care about what some lady who knows nothing, some guy says about your comments on your video and says something about you. Literally, I get hate comments all the time. All the time. You think it affects me? No, don't even care. Instead, it makes me laugh. I literally laugh at them. It literally, when I want to cheer up, I can go ahead and look at hate comments and I can laugh and I'll be fine. And I'll cheer up. Because it's actually so funny to see that people think that they're going to get me out of the call that God has put in my life just because of what they say. I don't care what man says. I don't care what they have to say about me or what they think about what I'm doing. Oh, a girl can't preach. Oh, a woman can't preach, actually. Oh, you're too young. Or blah, blah, blah. You think I care? Oh, well, actually, the Bible says this. Oh, actually, God doesn't heal anymore. Oh, actually, like, that's not how it works. Oh, actually, if I would have cared, I would have stopped a long time ago. But no, I've been going at this thing for over 2 years now. Posting videos. Talking about God. And so, I don't care what people have to say. And I know at first, it's a little scary to be that person. It's a little scary to step out. But you have to choose to do it anyways, because being bold is not something you're automatically born with. Like, oh my gosh, God, I'm so bold. Like, I'm literally so bold. Thank you for making me bold out of the womb. No, it's a choice. Being bold is a choice. You're not automatically born bold. Like, you have to choose to be bold. Despite your circumstances, despite your situation, despite what you may be feeling, be bold. It's a choice that you have to make on your own. You have to choose to stand up, and you have to choose to do all these things by yourself and by your own means. Even when you don't feel like it at all. Even when you feel further from what is bold. You have to choose to be it anyways. You have to choose to be bold. And you may even say, oh, Annie, like, I know I have to be bold. I know I have to, not care what people say about me and what they think. I know I have to be as bold as a lion and have that attitude and that authority. But I'm scared. Like, it's not as easy as you think. And I understand that. And I'm not, I'm not saying that you cannot be scared. But why choose to be scared when God is literally for you? You know what it says in the Bible? It says Romans 8:31. It says, what then shall we say in response to these things? Listen, if God is for us, who can be against us? Man will say these things. Man will come against me. Man will try to take me out of my calling. Man will try to discourage me. But I have God. So if I have God, then what does it all matter? What does all that stuff matter for? It does not matter, because I have a heavenly Father. I have a God, the creator of heaven and earth, and all the universe, all creation, told me, hey, I'm with you. So, and I'm not leaving you. And nothing, if I'm with you, no one or nothing can be against you. The gates of hell can literally come against me. They can fling wide open. But if I have God on my side, none of that stuff will prevail. And so walk with that mentality. For example, like literally in my church, they have sued my church so many times. And there's been people from government and the people from the neighborhoods who didn't like what we had to do and what we were talking about and the noise and blah, blah, blah. They didn't like that stuff that we were doing, and so they sued the church. What do you think my pastor did? Oh, yeah. You know what? Actually, guys, we're going to meet at a small place. We're not going to talk about God in all these subjects they hate. We're not going to be loud. We're not going to do all these things. We're going to just go in a little corner and we're going to read our little devotionals and write down in our little notebooks while we're listening to instrumental worship music. No. He stood up and he said, no, I don't care I don't care what these people say. I don't care what the government says. I am sent on an assignment from God, and he told me to do this. So I'm going to actually make sure that it comes into completion. I'm going to actually make sure that I'm going to come through with it because God has told me to do it. And so he won the court cases. It was didn't even make sense because people were complaining about all these things. But if all these evil people and wicked people came for a festival to talk about, all these things that I'm not going to mention on camera because I can't mention because I'll get my YouTube taken down. Then, see, like they'll literally, no one will complain. But if we, the children of God, decide to do something for the Lord, if for people who are lost, and because we are called to do those things, if we decide to do that, oh no, there's a problem now. And so, yes, people are going to come against you. It's literally evident. Like people don't like that you're Christian. People don't like what you believe in. People don't like what you stand for. And so there's going to be adversity. But who cares? So disregard what people say. Disregard what your circumstance or what people might think of what you're doing. Disregard all those things of what people think of your beliefs and who you are and what you stand for. Disregard all those voices and all those things that come against you. And be bold as a lion. Because if God is for you, if God is for you, then who can be against you? And choose to be someone who is strong and courageous. And choose to be someone who stands up and fights. And also, if you want to be more bold, read the Bible. Read those stories of about people being bold and standing up. And just not caring about what people have to say. And also, spend time with God. Ask for that boldness to be imparted to you as well, because he will truly answer your prayer. And after that, just choose to walk in that every single day. And after, you will see that you will be bold and you will have the spirit of I do not care. So have the most amazing day, you guys. Make sure to check my website out at annilizz.com for more information about all things ministry and my podcast. And I cannot wait until next week. So make sure to stay tuned and make sure to share and like and subscribe, because it truly does help the channel out and it truly does help reach more people. So have a blessed day, everyone. Be blessed and be joyful. Annie signing off. Bye, guys.